What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. There's a lot going on in the last however many hours since news dropped of former Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore being fired, and the administration there said that he was fired with cause. And there was speculation, but also what happened after I posted my video yesterday was the fact that he was arrested right after he was fired. And apparently he was stalking and harassing, I believe, his mistress. And this is the woman who was his mistress. I believe her name is Paige Shivers. This man lost his job because he went and I guess he confronted her, let her know that she ruined his life and his career. He threatened to end his life. Sherrone Moore has a lot of problems. He went out very sadly over a woman that wasn't his wife. This man is all over the place. And I want people to understand that this is what happens when you have no discipline, to where not only have you gotten fired, but you ruined your marriage, you ruined your reputation, and now you're out here looking crazy because you're threatening, according to reports, and we're going to get into it, he's threatening to end his own life over this. This is a very bad situation. And I said I would hope that he'd have opportunity to move forward, but it looks like he needs therapy. Okay. The last thing he needs to be around anybody, especially women, that ain't his wife. And you would think in football and athletic department, he is not in that particular situation. So let's get into what TMZ had to say, because apparently they obtained audio of the police dispatch, which is, again, this story has gotten way worse than we thought it did. Thought it was. TMZ Sports has obtained dispatch audio stemming from the alleged Sherrone Moore assault, with a woman claiming he attacked her at her home on Wednesday after stalking her for months. Y'all see that? Stalking her for months. This man was head football coach of Michigan, of the Michigan Wolverines football team, was stalking a woman for months. Is it because she stopped wanting to have a relationship with him and he just couldn't take no for an answer? See, this is the type of behavior that ruins a man's life every single time. The ability not to move on. That woman couldn't have been that special. You wrecked your career over a woman that was 100% replaceable. And by the way, you shouldn't have messed with her anyway because she was working in the athletic department. She was your assistant. The audio states a call was made from a Michigan football employee's address in Ann Arbor, Michigan around 4 p.m. The employee, who was working for the Wolverines for years, was the executive assistant to the head coach, the position Moore held until he was fired for having an inappropriate relationship with a fellow staffer. It is unclear if the employee was the woman allegedly attacked, or if the incident was just happened to take place at her home. The employee's name started to trend shortly after the news broke of Moore's termination, with several unverified reports stating that she was involved in the scandal. Her identity wouldn't be out there if it wasn't true. The employee has since deleted several social media accounts. You see, if it wasn't her, she would have came out publicly and said, that's not me, but she didn't, because it is her. Later on in the audio obtained by Broadcastify, a report is made that the suspect's wife said that he was suicidal. And it's hard to make it out, but it sounds like it is due to losing his job today. It goes on to say that the suspect has a knife and that the U of M detective is either heading or already at the location. As we previously reported, Moore is currently behind bars in county jail as the investigation continues, and cops said minutes ago he is slated to go before a judge Friday. Just imagine, you the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines football team, and now you're facing a judge in handcuffs. You talk about a guy that crashed out and just ruined everything, ruined his family, ruined his life over one woman. This is the weakness of a lot of you men. The Mel Tucker situation taught you nothing, huh? You saw what happened in a situation. You said, you know what? I'm me. I'm Sherrone Moore. I beat Ohio State in my first season as head coach. And then he started to believe that he could just do whatever he want and it would be covered up. I will tell you this, though. This is why I think that Michigan gets no sympathy from me, the administration, because they knew this information for a while. They knew that this man was having an extramarital affair, and they kept it to themselves because they wanted to see if he was going to beat Ohio State. If he would have beaten Ohio State, first of all, he wouldn't have been fired. And secondly, this information wouldn't have came out. This extramarital affair, all this wouldn't have came out if he would have won. This is how dirty and grimy college sports have become. These schools hide a lot because Sherrone Moore isn't the only coach that cheats on his wife. A lot of these coaches do. They are just better at it than Sherrone Moore was. Sherrone Moore was cheating with his assistant as if people wouldn't find out. From what I understand, people knew that this was going on and they made jokes about it. Let's move on to this. Sherrone Moore's wife and alleged mistress were following each other on Instagram amid rumored affair. A new development has been added to the story of former University of Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore. He has been fired and has been arrested following allegations of having inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Justin Spiro reported that it appears that Moore's wife and the supposed staffer Paige Sheaver were following each other on Instagram. Spiro displayed pictures of what appeared to be linked profiles, or neither of these women have broken their silence since. Moore was dismissed from his position following the university's investigation that found him in violation of university policy. They've been knew this. They didn't just find out. They probably knew this since the affair started, but they kept it to themselves until they were ready to fire him. And now they're ready to fire him. Head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause, effective immediately. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel said in a statement in December 2025. Following the university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. There has been no mention from the university of which staff member is involved in this matter. There has been no mention of Sheaver from Michigan officials, nor has she commented on the allegations. She presently works in the sports division of the University of Michigan. According to a profile of her on the Chicago Bears website, she is the daughter of Chicago Bears scout Jeff Sheaver. In 2016, she wrote about her life with pump disease, a rare genetic disorder that causes a person not to be able to break down glycogen in their body. This can then lead to buildup of muscle cells that creates issues with heart and muscles. So that's a little bit of background on her. Listen, people, Sherrone Moore, this is the biggest screw up I've ever seen from a coach, especially a young coach. He's 39. You tell players to be disciplined and to work hard and to sacrifice when you yourself couldn't sacrifice your desires for your assistant. Now I've seen people say, well, maybe she was a plant. Maybe she came on to him. It don't matter. Find you an assistant that's going to do her job and not sit there and try to entice you into some sort of relationship. I'm going by their logic. At the end of the day, Sherrone Moore is the most responsible, and he needs therapy. He doesn't need football right now. This man threatened to end his life. a man with young children, over the fact that he lost his job. You should have thought about that before you had this side relationship with your assistant. So ultimately, Sherrone, you're responsible for your decisions. Nobody else. People want to sit up there and blame the female assistant. Bro, you don't have to engage in any type of relationship with her. You're a head football coach. You could have found women outside the university. You should have been more discreet. But instead of you being discreet, you decide to use that as an opportunity to have your side chick close to you at all times. Because let's be clear, he didn't want another man dealing with her. Because apparently he'd been stalking this woman for months. What does that tell you? That tell you that this man felt like he was losing his grip on her. He apparently gave her a raise, and it looks like she was distancing herself from him and he couldn't take it. So he decides to stalk and harass this girl, according to reports. This guy doesn't need football. He needs therapy. But this is just the biggest screw up I've ever seen. But I want y'all to understand, would we have known this if he had beaten Ohio State? Let me know what you think in the comment section with me. Thoughts, like this video and share. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I will see y'all next one.